Most men go through life unaware that they're walking through a battlefield with no armor. They think life rewards honesty, goodness, and effort. But Machiavelli warned centuries ago, the world is not a place for timid souls. Men must either be caressed or annihilated. Meaning, if you walk through this world softly, you will be crushed by those who understand how power really works. You will be manipulated by those who read human nature better than you. You will be betrayed by people who smile at you while sharpening their knives. And you will never rise, not because you're weak, but because you're unprepared. Let me tell you something that only the broken, the betrayed, and the awakened understand. Strength is never born in the light. Strength is born in the moments when the world shows you its teeth. Machiavelli said, "He who becomes master of a city accustomed to freedom and does not destroy it, must expect to be destroyed by it." The same applies to your life. When you let people walk freely over your boundaries, your mind, your emotions, they will eventually dominate you. Not out of malice, but because human nature is wired to take advantage of what does not resist. Dark intelligence is born the moment you stop expecting fairness. It's the moment you stop believing that people will treat you the way you treat them. It's the moment you finally see the world as Machiavelli did. Men judge more by the eye than by the hand. For everyone can see, but few can perceive. People see your appearance. They judge your reactions. They test your emotions. They evaluate your weaknesses. But very few ever perceive what's truly inside you, unless you give them access. Most men bleed their intentions in public. They explain everything, what they want, what they fear, what they plan. Machiavelli warned, everyone sees what you appear to be, few know what you are. The powerful man guards the parts of himself that matter. He speaks strategically. He reveals selectively. He allows curiosity to work in his favor. That is calculated opacity. The first Machiavellian weapon most men never learn. You don't answer every question honestly just because it was asked. You answer with intelligence because you understand information is power. And power, Machiavelli said, is seized, not given. This is why the man who talks too much will always lose to the man who listens. Quiet men control the room because silence forces others to reveal themselves. A Machiavellian mind never wastes energy proving anything. It lets the world expose its own motives. It lets enemies speak until they slip. It lets manipulators reveal their tactics. And it lets fools self-destruct. Power belongs to the man who knows when to withhold, not when to perform. Then comes adaptive persona, not as manipulation, but as survival. Machiavelli wrote, "A prince must learn how not to be good, and to use this knowledge according to necessity." Meaning, you don't show the same version of yourself to every person, because not every person deserves the same access. Why shift your communication the way a strategist shifts tactics? With the emotional, you soften. With the analytical, you sharpen. With the dangerous, you remain unreadable. With the powerful, you remain composed. That's not fake. That's intelligent. Water takes the shape of the container without losing its essence. So does the strategic man. He adapts without surrendering his values. He changes form without changing his core. That's Machiavellian authenticity, being effective, not exposed. But the real foundation of this entire philosophy, the trait that transforms a man from reactive to untouchable, is detachment. Machiavelli said, "Since love and fear can hardly exist together, it is safer to be feared than loved." Fear doesn't mean terror. It means respect. It means stability. It means you don't crumble when someone threatens to leave you, betray you, fire you, or criticize you. Because the man who fears nothing cannot be controlled. Most men lose power because they cling. They cling to relationships, to validation, to outcomes, to approval. A Machiavellian man never clings. He desires, but he does not depend. He commits, but he does not kneel. He cares, but he does not crumble. He wants good outcomes, but he is prepared for the worst. That is detachment, psychological independence. The ability to walk away without trembling. The ability to hear no without folding. The ability to face loss without losing yourself. Once you detach, people sense it. They sense the shift in your posture, your energy, your presence. You're no longer negotiating from fear. You're negotiating from strength. And strength is the only language the world truly understands. The next level of Machiavellian intelligence is something most men will never master, because it requires a kind of discipline that feels unnatural at first: silent leverage. Machiavelli wrote, "The wise man does at once what the fool does finally." Meaning, Power is not loud. Power is not aggressive. Power is prepared. Power is positioned. You don't force influence. You create conditions where influence becomes inevitable. A powerful man rarely needs to attack. His silence does the attacking for him. His absence becomes punishment. His presence becomes pressure. His withheld approval becomes currency. When you've mastered silent leverage, people correct themselves around you without you saying a word. They think twice before disrespecting you. They behave better not because you demanded it, but because they can feel your boundaries without hearing them spoken. This is the mastery Machiavelli hinted at when he said, "It is better to appear merciful, faithful, humane, upright, and religious, but be prepared to act otherwise when necessary." Meaning, you do not show your full strength unless required. You let people underestimate you. You allow them to assume you're harmless, agreeable, manageable. Meanwhile, you watch, you learn, you wait. And when the moment comes to strike, whether in negotiations, relationships, competition, or leadership, your move cuts deeper because no one saw it coming. That leads directly into psychological echo, the ability to reflect people's deepest needs and fears back to them. Machiavelli understood human weakness intimately. He wrote, "Men are driven by two principal impulses, either by love or by fear. And to know which impulse drives someone, you must listen not to their words, but to their emotional patterns. You must hear their insecurities wrapped inside their jokes, their desires hidden inside their complaints, their fears disguised inside their anger. When you echo back what someone truly feels, not what they say, they trust you. They open up. They follow your lead. Influence becomes effortless because you've entered the part of their mind where their real decisions are made. But remember, psychological echo is not for manipulation. It is for clarity. It allows you to understand who can be trusted and who cannot. And then comes the trait where Machiavelli becomes controversial, but completely correct, ambiguous morality. He said, "A prince must consider the nature of the times and adapt himself to them." Meaning, there is no single moral code that works in every situation. Doing the right thing at the wrong time destroys kingdoms, ruins relationships, and sabotages opportunities. Being too nice to the wrong person enables betrayal. Giving too many chances destroys standards. Telling the full truth to the wrong ear becomes a weapon used against you. Ambiguous morality does not mean abandoning your ethics. It means understanding that virtue must be combined with strategy. You protect what is good in you by learning how to deal with what is not good in others. You maintain your values, but you are not naive. You are capable of kindness, but not controlled by it. You can show mercy, but never at the cost of your power or your safety. This is the balance Machiavelli demanded of leaders, and it applies just as much to modern men navigating relationships, workplaces, and the brutal realities of human nature. Then comes controlled exposure, one of the strongest Machiavellian weapons of all. Machiavelli warned, "A prudent man should always follow in the footsteps of great men, and imitate those who have been supreme." The great men of history share one trait in common. They never revealed everything. They allowed the world to see only what strengthened their authority. They revealed their intentions only when they were irreversible. They spoke when the outcome needed their voice, and stayed silent when silence protected their advantage. When you expose yourself fully, you become predictable. When you are predictable, you become controllable. A man who masters controlled exposure lives in two worlds, the visible and the hidden. The visible world is where he appears calm, reasonable, collected, human. The hidden world is where he makes decisions, evaluates loyalty, and plans 10 steps ahead. This separation is not deception, it is survival. But the final trait, the one that turns all this into unstoppable force, is outcome obsession. Machiavelli wrote, "The end justifies the means." This doesn't mean morality disappears. It means clarity appears. It means you stop wasting time on emotional arguments, petty battles, or trying to convince people who will never understand you. It means you stop playing games for ego and start playing for results. You measure actions by outcomes, not intentions. You build strategies instead of excuses. You adapt your approach the moment circumstances shift. Outcome-obsessed men think differently. They don't chase validation. They don't try to be right. They try to win. They don't seek comfort. They seek effectiveness. They don't cling to methods. They cling to progress.